Hey Austin, I'm going to watch your video and give you some comments in real time.
Alright. Good morning, afternoon, class.
Morning, afternoon.
Let's start out by singing Oats and Beans and Barley Girl, alright? 1, 2, ready, go. Oats and
You know it would be good if we had a starting pitch. We didn't get one, so try to remember to do that.
Everyone know how oats and beans and sing it one more time. Oats and beans and barley grow. Oats and beans and barley grow. Do you or I or anyone know how oats and beans and barley grow? Good job, class. Has anyone ever been to Louisiana? Anyone? No? Oh yeah? That's cool. Did you know that they grow oats in Louisiana? Anybody know what you can make with oats?
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal. That's not it. That's all.
Cookies.
What?
Cookies.
Oatmeal cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. What else is Louisiana known for? Does anybody know? What kind of music comes from Louisiana?
Louisiana.
Jazz music, that's right. Jazz comes from Louisiana. What is a famous city in Louisiana that we have a song about?
New Orleans.
What song is it?
Great big house in New Orleans.
That was a relatively good
That's right.
text connection.
Okay,
I
so
wonder
let's
if
sing Great
there's...
Big House in New Orleans.
I don't know if there's any
1,
musical
2,
connection
ready,
to it.
go. Great big house in New Orleans, 40 stories high. Every room that I've been in, filled with pumpkin pie. Awesome. I'm going to give you a worksheet, and we're going to listen to, I'm going to sing Great Big House,
Now this was the part
and I'm going to
I was
ask
a little
that you listen to me
confused.
sing and write down the rhythms that you hear, okay? So,
I was confused, I
I'm
think,
going to
because
sing it
of
a
the
few times and give
boxes.
you a chance to hear it. And once everybody looks like they're done,
Because the students at
we'll
this
see
point,
what
I
we
think
do,
it was
okay?
either third or fourth grade or something like that,
Great
they'd know
big
measures,
house in
and
New
so
Orleans, 40 stories high. Every room that I've been in, filled with pumpkin pie.
I think what might have helped with it, because you could tell Kristen was, I think it's Kristen that asks this here.
Every room that I've been in, filled with pumpkin pie. Great big house.
Oh no, maybe she doesn't ask it right there. But somebody asks, like, hey, what's the clap mean? Is the clap the beat? I think they weren't sure about that. And I do think that younger...
So every box represents
A measure. It's a measure.
Yeah, see, the boxes and the measures,
More questions?
the kids that, they're of that age where they could read oats and beans and barley grow, which they might not be able to do, especially if it's the first time that they're hearing it or reading it. It'd be tough for them to sight sing it, but yeah, it's for every measure. It's confusing to Josh, and if it's confusing Josh, it'll probably confuse younger students too. So maybe just keep the beat and just separate it by like lines of the song. You know what I mean? You could write the words up in the 2 lines that you're going to sing and say, hey, there's, you know, 4 measures in each line. Because I think it did confuse them a little bit. And then maybe just do, you know, hey, here's the first line. Here's the second line. Here's the first line. Here's the second line. That might work a little bit better with younger students. I do think the boxes were a little confusing to them, though. And so if it confuses us, it'll confuse little kids, too.
Great big house in New Orleans.
But you definitely sang it enough times for them to hear, which was great.
Every room that I've been in, filled with pumpkin pie. Okay, one more time. Make sure you're listening if you don't got it. Have to get it. Great big house in New Orleans, 40 stories high. Every room that I've been in, filled with pumpkin pie. Alright, so who can tell me what the first measure is? 4/8 minutes? So,
Go to the top of your thing. And it's
so there.
right side instruction.
Oh, there we go.
I think that's what
The thing I also don't remember, and maybe, I don't know, I don't remember, but do the boxes, does it say how many beats per box? Like, because I think they're 3rd or 4th graders, you could use music notation and put a time signature and they'd know what it means.
4/8
So,
minutes.
I mean, you could do that, and I think it'd be okay.
Is she right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Wow.
Does anyone know other measures that are the same? As that? Yes,
The
Willie?
third one is,
So this one?
yes.
Are there any other ones?
3
Josh is right there. That's the same. Yes, Billy?
7 also has.
Alright. So, let's sing it and see if these are right, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. Great big house in New Orleans, 40 stories high.
This is where I think the clapping once per measure, I'm glad you switched to that.
Filled with pumpkin pie. Okay,
And I
that's
like that
right.
you followed along.
Can
I
anyone
like
give
that you
me
had them
measure 2?
check. That was good.
Josh?
2/8 quarter.
2/8 and a quarter note? Awesome. Is there another measure that looks like this?
Yes.
6. So right here. Alright, Chrysalis, can you tell me what measure 4 is?
I'm glad you voluntold, Chrysalis. That's great.
Alright. Anyone want to give me the last one? Billy?
8 notes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Anyone want to help Billy out? Right, good job, Chrysalis.
Yeah. What do you
Alright,
do with
so
that? Do you help Billy with the
let's
answer?
sing it
And
together
after you ask
and
him,
watch
are you
it on
sure?
the paper as we
Do you
sing,
help
okay?
him and say,
1,
hi,
2, ready,
and like,
go.
you know what I mean? Hold it out? Or do you move on? It's a tough call. It's your call. You're the teacher. But there you go.
Awesome. Alright, so if you look on the bottom of our worksheet, you'll notice that we have 2 different colors, 2 different parts. So this half of the room is blue and y'all are orange, and you have different things written in already. So this side of the room has whole notes on the first 2 and the last, first 2 and 5 and 6 measures, and you have whole rest in 3 and 4 and 7 and 8. So what I'm going to want you to do is match 1 and 2. If you don't have whole rest in them,
I think
write
this was
down
kind of
the
confusing.
first 2 measures. And
Do you feel
5
like it
and
was
6.
confusing? I feel
So
like it
fill
was
in what you
confusing.
can with the top and put it in the bottom unless there's a whole rest in it. Does that make sense?
So it's supposed to be exactly like the top.
Exactly like the top. We're going to rewrite the top, but if you have rest, don't write those measures. Does that make sense? So you 2 are writing 3 and 4 at the bottom.
Yeah, for this, I think I might have, if you wanted them to do part singing or part clapping or part whatever, I think I would have just written what you wanted them to do instead of copying the stuff down, because explaining to them how to copy the stuff took more time than just having them look at it, you know?
Alright, are we done?
Just look at what you had already
Alright,
written.
so
You took the time to make a
we're gonna
worksheet.
tidy
Just put on the
this.
worksheet.
And you're
You
going
know,
to do
what you
we're gonna
wanted
notice
them to
that we're
do.
different. We're not doing the exact same thing the whole time, but that's okay, okay? So we're going to together make the whole song. Alright, so ta dee ta dee ta dee ta dee. Ready? 1, 2, go. Ta dee ta dee ta dee ta.
Ta-dee, ta-dee, ta-ta.
Ta-dee, 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 ta.
Ta-dee, ta-dee, ta.
Let's do it one more time. Ta-dee, ta-dee.
That was a good transition into the second time. It's great.
Ta-dee, ta, ta.
Maybe make your motions to let which group know that it's time for them to come in a little bit more deliberate. With us, we've got it.
Isn't that cool that we
With
make
younger
the song
students,
together, even though you're not
maybe they
singing
might
all the
need
time?
a little bit more
Yes.
direction.
Alright. So, now we're going to sing. Oh, this had to go away. Okay, let's sing. There sits the Sally in the chair. Alright. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, go.
We didn't have a starting pitch. And it might be, if this is third grade, it's going to be too early for us to read this way.
Alright, let's see.
It's going to be too
Let's all
early
start
for
on
us
the
to do
same
this.
note.
This would
That's
be
not
too
bad.
hard for third or fourth graders to do by themselves.
There. 1, 2, ready, go. There sits a Sally who comes in the chair, chair, chair. She lost all her true love she had last year. Oh, rise up on your feet and greet the first you meet and bring him round again. Let's do it one more time. There sits a
Now
Sally
with
who
kids,
comes in the
it'd need a lot of different times. I think I would model it for them first by themselves, or by yourself, at least a couple times.
Oh, rise up on your feet and greet the first you meet and bring him round again. Nice. Alright, so now we're going to try in solfa. Does anyone, so what is we used to have do, re, mi, half.
I think what you'd have to do with this is tell
So
them
that's what
the
we're gonna
first
use.
two
What do we
pitches
start on?
maybe.
Low sol.
I mean, like, I know it, we know it in this class, but do you think they're really going to know it by looking at the key signature and all that? I mean, like, that's how we're finding out that that's G and we start on low so and all that stuff. You're really going to have to label some of that for them
That's right.
so that they know it.
Alright.
This might be a
Do we see
great
half
time
anywhere?
to maybe
Can
go
someone tell
through,
me
use
where
the
half is?
smartboard and put in the solfa syllables so that, because
That's line.
they are not going to be able to read it as fast like we
So
do.
right there's half, okay? Alright, so let's try the solfa. We'll take it a little slower. 1, 2, ready? So, do, 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 mi, re, do, re, re, re. So, re, 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 mi, re, do.
Yeah, this was successful for us. Kids would probably need some stick notation with the solfa syllables you wanted to use underneath it.
Very nice. Alright, so today we're going to replace half with its real solfa name. And so
What I might do
and we have
here,
half here,
and you
but
do
now
it, you
we're
talk
gonna call
about
it
the
its
characteristics
real
of
name,
half.
fla. Okay?
But what I
So
would do is
do,
have
re,
the
mi,
kids
fa,
talk to you and tell you
sol,
about
la.
half
That's what we know
before
so far.
you do the
And here's
present,
the hand
right?
sign for it. Can everyone do that with me?
That's great. I love
Alright.
this sequence of present.
Here's what it looks like on the staff if we have a C scale.
Yeah, C scale might not mean too much to them.
Here's it on the piano.
There's a couple things that
Anyone notice
might
what's
be
different right here? between me and Fox.
I mean, that might be out of the scope of what they've done, depending on what you teach them, because scales usually are a little bit later in time.
Between me
Because,
and
you know, like a scale where we have all of the
Alright, so let's go
all the
back
whole steps and
put
half
it in our
steps.
song.
We don't usually teach about that until they
So when we
learn
get here, we'll
all
say
of it.
fa
So I think I might go
okay?
through and maybe have them
So
tell you about the
starting off,
characteristics of half.
One,
Why are we calling it
two,
half? Because
three.
remember, before a
So
present, it's really important for them to know that, to connect those dots. So you had a good present sequence. I think they just needed to give you a little bit of information beforehand to make it more effective. There's just some things that we're sort of taking advantage of, the fact that we know some stuff that your third or fourth graders won't know. They won't be able to sight read the way that we can. So the writing the solfa underneath the stick notation or using the smartboard to do that is really going to be helpful in that step where you wanted us to solfa that song. I also think that that song needs to be one, you can't just be a brand new song and then say, okay, let's solfa it, let's do it. I think they really need to know it a little bit better before you can do that. So if it's a song that we've not learned before, it's hard to jump in and do that with third or fourth graders. So, although, I mean, it's fourth grade. It's fourth grade by that time, but that still might be a little difficult depending on the time of year that it is. So just sort of take that into consideration as you plan in the future. But all in all, it's a well-planned lesson. I mean, it's sequenced well. There were just a couple things where it was like, oh, hey, it might be a little too hard, but sometimes it's hard for us to know that because, you know, we get things quick. So remember that real kids are probably going to need some things that we don't need in our class.